Hello, so my name is Laura. Welcome to Build Your Own Marketing API with Python. It'll be a short session, and today we'll be looking at Postman. And yeah, just moving on. So just to give you an idea of what we're doing. So there will be a preview of what we're doing, and then we'll go into the actual code along. I will talk about what we did last time, and then if you're so willing, we may go into a chat and scribble later on. It's not a must. Okay, I will stop recording after the code along, so this section will not be recorded. Okay, so just to briefly introduce myself, my name is Laura. I consider myself more of a tech adjacent person. So I do online marketing for work and coding more as a hobby. And the purpose and the objective for this series is to reverse engineer what I use on the daily, which is analytics and campaign management. And hopefully you might have some idea or maybe a starting point for your own API or even your own marketing API. And yeah, just to briefly explain what that entails, marketing API can be, for example, Google Ads. There are Meta Ads. There are Snapchat APIs. There are publisher and conversion APIs. For example, there is Google Analytics. And if we take one step up, Turing.com refers to an API as a virtual middleman transferring data from one interface, such as a mobile app, to another. And a more general example of an API could be something like PayPal. It could be something like a login. It could be something Google Maps, that kind of thing. Okay. And just to give you a preview of what we're doing, so we're going to look at what we did in the last meetup. We will have a look at Postman, to get and post requests, and yeah, endpoints with decorators. And then again, if you're so inclined, we might do some fun stuff. This meetup of kind of really Frankensteined it together from a mix of Codecademy and Python Anywhere, the Python Foundation, Flask documentation, and I've also used a free Codecamp video on creating a Python API. I have to say the free Codecamp video has probably been the most helpful. The only difference is the person in the video uses a different framework, different libraries. The things that they look at are very different. For example, they look at creating posts like on a social media app. So I've used the free Codecamp as a sort of structure, as a sort of general overview, and I'm trying to make it my own, if you will. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I will go into the recording bit, and let me just open up my code editor as well. Just one sec. Okay. One second. It doesn't want to recognize VS Code. Just one sec. Let me just maybe share my entire screen, then can't help it. Okay, so let's just go into VS Code. So the first thing, if you want to get started, is I guess you need to install Python via the Python website. And then the next thing you can do is you can, have a virtual environment, and then install Flask. And then you can import libraries and dependencies like Flask, Request, JSONify, render template, that kind of thing. And the next thing you do is you instantiate your app, like so. And then the first thing that I did was I just wanted to check whether it's actually working. So I went into just a sort of root directory, if you will. And what I wanted for it to return the message in JSON format to say root. And yeah, if we go do that, so here we go, we have the root directory and it returns a message called root. And what I found really interesting at that point is, depending on what browser you use, you get a very different message. So for example, if you try that in a Google browser, let's do that for a second. If you do that, it gives you a very, oh, that is not Google Chrome. If you go into Google Chrome, it gives you a very, well, unnuanced view, if you will. I find that very interesting just on a personal level at this point. Okay, and then now that we have that, what I want to do next is I have a little endpoint here, and I called it enter email. And what I basically want to do with my API is if people are sort of browsing something, and let's say they want to sign up, I want them to be able to enter the email. And I selected get and post methods. So you get data and you can also post data. And I have this function over here within the endpoint. And so if somebody is posting something, then the data goes into a request form, and the email goes into it's like a request, like an email field, and the password goes into a password field. And what I then wanted to do is I just wanted to give back a little message to say that the email and the password have been received. And the way to do all that, so first of all, I have a web page, if you will, just very, very simple little page. It's got a little form where you can enter your email and have some very simple styling as well. And it looks really, really simple. Let me just bring it up. So it looks like this. It's just a very, very simple field where you can put in your email address, you can put in your password, and you can press the submit button. And what I wanted to do next is that you can actually receive that data. And so I looked up a way to do that. And apparently Postman is a famous API platform. And at that point, let's maybe open up Postman, the website. And yeah, we just sign up like so. Okay, so it says here you can organize your API development, you can synchronize your data, and you can actually download it to your desktop. And let me just show you what that looks like. Okay, so let's say it kind of starts out with a little overview. It gives you the option of having a template. If we just have a little look here, it's got all kinds of things. It's got development, it's got testing, it's got security, all kinds of things. And you can ask for a template to be applied. What I did is I applied a sort of a shopping sort of checkout API, and it gives you a little blueprint to work with as well. And then the first thing that I did was I went into the root folder, and you can select here whichever kind of request you want. So you have get, post, put, patch, delete, head, options. I just want to get at this point. I just want to make sure it's actually working. And you can have that over here. And then if you look in the body over here, if you put in, if you click send, then it kind of sends that request and it returns to you what you can get, which is the message that it's the root directory. And then the next thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to have a post request. And again, if you send that one over here, it returns you a little message to say that the email and the password have been received, which is what we have. In our app, basically, which is our response. That's what it was returned at this point. Yeah, and that is pretty much it for today. And let me just stop recording at this point. Just one sec, and then we'll have a little chat.